Nobody was here. Nobody in the street. Why don't you pray for her?
We sent for a priest, Mr. Deemschutz.
I have a wife and 2 sisters. All these women killed. Why you do nothing?
We are doing something, Mr. Deemschutz. Did you take his statement, George?
Yeah, the blood was still fresh, and he found it between 1 and 5 past. We must have missed him by seconds.
Mein Gott, a woman is cut to pieces, and all you talk about is between 1 and 5 past. Why the police do nothing?
Well, did he do it?
Did he do what?
Next job I do, I shall clip the ladies' ears off and send them to the police officers just for jelly.
No. They're still there.
So this letter's a hoax, like the others.
But that's not a hoax.
Hello? Lusk. How the hell did that bastard find out?
Whitechapel Tom-Toms. Get that body away.
Aveline! Right, sir. Aveline, there's been another one, Mitre Square.
What?
We've sent for the Commissioner.
The Commissioner?
This one is terrible, I mean terrible.
Keep your voice down. You want to start a bloody riot?
Aveline! So you don't need us, eh? Isn't that what you said? He doesn't need us!
Get this mob off the street, Lusk, or I'll run you in for incitement to riot so fast you'll skin your feet.
You're finished, Aveline. The people are taking over. The Whitechapel Vigilance Committee.
Spratling, get that body away. George, come with me.
Do nothing. And why? I tell you, my friends, they don't want the streets safe.
Got a statement for the Star? Early edition?
Yeah, shut your face.
I'll print that.
Your wives don't count. Your daughters don't count. You don't count! Mobilize and organize! Join the People's Command!
Well, this is Mitre Square. What's going on?
Mr. Aveline?
Where the hell's this body?
They've taken it away, sir.
Taking it away?
City Morgue 10 minutes ago. Now, I washed the blood off best I could, but I haven't got a brush, you see.
You washed the blood off? Why?
I was told to, sir. The Commissioner's been here. He's waiting for you in Galston Street. I thought you knew all this.
It's definitely part of her apron, Commissioner. Cut off with a knife, I'd say.
Soaked in blood. Why leave it here, several streets away?
To prove the writing's real.
Shine the lamp. The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing.
So the Jews should be blamed for something. That's what he's saying, isn't it, Commissioner?
Spelling, Chief Superintendent. J-U-W-E-S.
That's why I sent for you. Let's get rid of it.
Wipe this off now.
You wanted me, Commissioner?
Yes, Aveline, we found this. It's part of the dead woman's apron.
Which one?
The second one, Mitre Square.
Excuse me, sir.
What the bloody hell do you think you're doing?
I was told to, sir.
My orders, Aveline. It's anti-Semitic filth.
The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing.
This area's teeming with immigrants. A lot of them are Jewish, and they're not popular. One word about it being a Jew, we'll have lynch mobs on the streets. It's happened before. Wipe it off.
If he's a Jew, why draw attention to it?
To make us think he's a Jew. Put us off the scent. Haven't you got a brain?
George, write this down. And you too, Constable, and get the spelling right. J-U-W-E-S. It may be important.
How?
You tell me, Chief Superintendent.
I will tell you. He can't spell, and that's all there is to it. Now wipe it off.
Wait.
What's that, Aveline?
It's a letter to the Central News Agency, Commissioner.
Same writing, is it?
No, completely different.
So wipe it off. I don't want to see it printed in a newspaper.
I'll see you back at the yard, Aveline. "143 plainclothesmen, hundreds more in uniform, and all these weeks later, we're still no further ahead. Is that what you're saying?"
Commissioner, we've taken thousands of statements, we've doubled the patrols on the streets, and I've got every known informant with his ear to the ground.
But something's got to be done, gentlemen. The Secretary of State for the Home Department is now being bombarded with letters from the chairman of something calling itself the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee.
George Lusk. He's a thug.
Thug or not, he's offering help.
No, Chief Superintendent, he's offering trouble.
I'm afraid that is not a view that the Secretary of State can take, and neither, frankly, can I.
He's a rabble-rouser, a politician, and he's using these murders for his own ends.
So what is he, an anarchist? Irish revolutionary?
Well, he calls himself a socialist. But if you want a riot, George Lusk is your man. And if the Secretary of State is going to accept his so-called help, I'll have to resign. And I mean it. All right. Listen again. All the killings were done within a few streets of each other. All the victims were prostitutes. No one sees anything and no one hears anything. He just vanishes, time after time.
Local knowledge, we said so from the start.
The women are ripped to pieces. Now, he must be drenched in blood, pints of it. So he's got to get off the street. Now, where does he go?
Obviously, somebody's hiding him.
Why is that obvious? He might live alone.
Sir, why do they keep going with him? The Prozzies, I mean.
Now, that's a good question, Derek. He might be someone they know or someone they think they can trust.
Like a doctor, you mean? Or a priest?
Or someone else in authority.
Like one of us?
That's not funny.
No, it's not. But it's why we are questioning everybody in the area. Man, woman, and child. Somebody must know something. Now, we know what he looks like. Well, roughly, from the statements we've got already. So, for the next 3 days, you go round knocking on doors. And if anybody knows anything, write it down and bring it back here. Questions? Wear your boots out.
Morning, boys. There's a nice crowd outside the police station. And here is your article. George Lusk speaks. I'd say the campaign's going very well, wouldn't you?
Just shut up and do your job.
What are you going to do, time you did something, isn't it?
One white handkerchief with a red border, one matchbox containing cotton, 2 clay pipes, 1 red cigarette case, 5 pieces of soap, 1 tin containing tea and sugar, 1 broken pair of spectacles, 1 comb, 1 red mitten, and 1 ball of worsted wool. You got all that?
What are you doing here, Dr. Llewellyn? This one wasn't killed on your patch.
I am examining the injuries, Inspector, to see if they match those inflicted on Elizabeth Stride. You will concede she was killed on my ground.
And do they? Match?
Here's the report, Inspector. Read it yourself.
Who's your friend? I thought police surgeons were supposed to help us.
George. You still got that letter?
Oh, you mean hoax number 412? I'll chuck it.
No. Read it out.
What, all that bunk about cut the ears off just for jolly? Never happened, Fred. He didn't do it.
Not till his stride. This is Kathy Eddowes. Look.
Oh, God, he's done it. He's cut her ears off.
Just for jolly.
But if this letter's real...
Then you are looking at his handwriting.
You mean he's just given us his handwriting?
He has done more than that, my old friend. He's just hanged himself.
Get me Bates. I want him here now.
2 murders in one night, half the country screaming for justice, and my best reporter disappears. Let me see it, Mr. Paulson.
Always glad to be of service to the Star, Mr. O'Connor. For a consideration, of course.
It arrived this morning.
Addressed to us at Central News and signed Jack the Ripper, just like the last one.
I was not codding, dear old boss, when I gave you the tip. Double event this time. Number one squealed. Number one squealed a bit. Had not time to get ears for police. Same handwriting as the first one. Are you sure?
Central News is a respectable news agency, Mr. O'Connor. We're always consistent.
How do I know it's genuine?
You don't. That's a job for the police. If I were you, I'd give that to Abilene. Printed first, of course, for the usual fee.
Did you pay a lot for this, Mr. O'Connor?
The handwriting is the same as the last one, Inspector. You don't think it's genuine?
As I told your reporter last time, we get a lot of strange letters, especially on murder cases.
My favourite's the man who thinks he's a giant vulture. He writes to us once a week.
I hope you don't think I've wasted your time.
Oh, not at all, sir. That's what we're here for. Good day, sir.
Thank you.
Can't believe it. It's as if he wants to get caught.
First one squealed a bit, had not time to get ears.
Because of Deemschutz, the man with the cart.
Deemschutz must have almost trodden on him. Or them.
You still think there's more than one?
It takes 15 minutes to cut up one of those bodies. That's what Dr. Phillips said at the Nichols inquest.
Someone keeping watch, you mean?
Do you risk it? Right out in the open, alone?
All right, let's say there's more than one. That's why the handwriting on the wall was different. The Jews are the men who won't be blamed for nothing or whatever it was. But why? I mean, why write anything at all?
Because he's playing with us, George. Some people are so damn cocky, they think they can't be caught.
What's the motive? There's still no motive.
There's got to be a motive. There's never been a murder without one.
So what is it? The women have got no money. We've ruled out revenge, and there's never any sex, according to the doctors.
No, this one's different. Something special.
What, medical thing? Selling the organs? I mean, half the stomachs are missing.
Too high a risk.
There's something powerful driving this one along.
Black magic, you mean? Some sort of secret society?
Involving more than one.
Fred, do you ever get the feeling that someone knows something we don't? I mean, getting the commissioner out of bed, washing the blood away.
2 men. 2 faces. Lee's.
The Queen's fortune teller. Come on, Fred. The man's a fraud.
He can write, can't he? Bring him in.
The Secretary of State for the Home Department, Prime Minister.
Come in, Henry. Sit down. Whitechapel. The Queen is now sending me telegrams. She fears a breakdown of law and order.
Well, with vigilantes on the streets, Prime Minister, I'm beginning to share her concern.
When Parliament reassembles, this government could be faced with a vote of no confidence. You're going to have to replace the man in charge, Henry. I want a new face.
Well, Commissioner Warren's a stubborn man, Prime Minister. He may defend this Inspector Abilene to the end.
I'm not talking about the inspector. It's Commissioner Warren who will have to go. Now, these rumors, Whitechapel and Prince Albert Victor, what have you found out?
Well, nothing concrete, Prime Minister. It's just rumor.
We're talking about the Queen's grandson. If he visits houses of ill repute, then this government must know.
There's no proof, Prime Minister. It's all speculation.
Speculation be damned! Whitechapel is the scene of the biggest manhunt we've ever known. If the prince's name is linked to that, then the whole future of the monarchy in this country will be at risk. I want the truth, Henry, before these rumors reach the Queen.
Well, where is he? Where's Lee's?
Floating through the air.
First, I had to wait while he finished a seance. Then he told me how the Queen asked him to bring her husband back from the dead. Then I got that bloody coach story again. And in the cab, he went through all 3 acts of Jekyll and Hyde. I'm deaf in one ear now.
Where is he? Huh? It's not mediums that make you deaf, George. Not what I heard, anyway.
He's in the muster room, writing out a description of the coach that knocked him down.
Oh. Bring this. Right, Mr. Lees. Have you written it?
It's not much of a description. Just a black coach with a crest on the side. Can't think why you need it in writing. The drawing I did will give you a much better idea. The sergeant here said you wanted to talk to me. What about?
After you told us about being run over by the coach in the street, we went over to Buckingham Palace, to the Royal Mews.
I was right, wasn't I? It was a royal coach.
No, Mr. Lees. It wasn't.
But I've ridden in it when I went
When
to
you went to see the Queen, yeah, you told us.
All right, Mr. Lees. What's your game?
Game? I'm not lying. I saw what I saw.
You see so many things, don't you?
Visions, for instance.
And monsters.
Dead women's clothes.
And murders before they happen.
And men with 2 faces like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Bloody Hyde.
Oh, you're such fools! I took you to the theater to prove how a man can have 2 faces like that actor on the stage. And until you believe in my visions, these killings will go on and on!
It's for Strand magazine. Handsome, isn't he?
Which one?
The Dr. Jekyll one, of course. Just because he acts a monster on stage doesn't mean he is one in real life. Why do you keep hounding him?
I'm not hounding him. It's just...
Don't say it, it's your job. You could have been anything, Freddie. A doctor, a teacher.
Why do women never say an explorer, a hunter, something with a bit of excitement?
You're a wreck.
Yes. I haven't had a drink in 6 weeks.
All right, Freddie. So you want me to smile at the great Richard Mansfield when I deliver the drawing? And then dig away and see if I can find out if he really hates women under all that charm. Shall I write it down like one of your sergeants?
No, just repeat it 10 times before you go to sleep.
Of course, he may want to find out if I like men. Have you thought of that?
If he does, you tell him that I learned everything I know from my old dad, who was a blacksmith. He spent his whole life hitting things.
Are you threatening to defend me again? Last time you almost ended up in jail.
Oh, you mean over the one who said he was your husband?
Not husband, fiancé.
Good. I hit him just in time then, didn't I? Emma, don't ever be alone with him. I mean it. Right, today, leaflets. We've had 8 weeks of statements, 8 weeks of questions. We've looked at every butcher, doctor, cook, knife grinder within 10 miles of here. We've questioned almost every resident of Whitechapel. We've had interpreters for Jews, Poles, Germans, French. We've got police on almost every corner. But he's still out there. Someone, somewhere, knows something. So today, leaflets.
What if he's left the country, sir?
The world, thank God, is not my responsibility, Derek. But if it cheers you all up, half the papers on the continent are watching our every move. America, too.
Leaflets will make exciting news, then.
Every police station has a bunch of these, and we're handing them out like confetti. If you ever have an idea of your own, Spratling, warn me first. I don't want to die shocked. Right, move yourselves. Back to the lockup, Derek. Take Joe with you, visit every pub on the way and show the uniform.
Right, sir.
Wait, Joe? Well, well. If it isn't Dr. Jekyll himself, or is it Mr. Hyde? Evening, Mansfield. Relaxing after the show? Little Annette again? Or you taking your chances in the pub this time?
Oh, I don't have to answer impertinent remarks now, do I? You're in my way. Well, thank you.
Definitely Mr. Hyde.
Terry, that was Richard Mansfield, the actor. Stay with him, let me know where he goes.
Right, sir.
Good evening, sir. Can I buy you a drink? Or would you like to buy a lady one? Her name's Mary Jane. She's fresh from the Emerald Isles and lovely with it.
Well, hello, Mary Jane.
Marie Jeanette. I'm from Paris.
Really? I'm from Boston. Call me Dixie. Bartender!
Oi, out, police.
I'm waiting for you.
Fred, something about this doesn't make sense.
What?
Well, do come in, Terry.
Oh, is it raining?
He picked up the pros, took her home. She stayed all night. 8 o'clock, put her in a cab, sent her back to Whitechapel.
And does this pros have a name?
Mary Kelly.
Well, write it down and leave it in Mansfield's file.
Well, can I get dry first? I think I've caught pneumonia.
Well, you know what they say, don't you, Terry? If you can't stand a joke,
you shouldn't have joined.
Thanks.
What doesn't make sense?
well, if there's more than one, what's holding them together? I mean, look at us. We work hand in glove together. But if one of us started cutting up bodies... Doesn't anybody know how to knock?
He sent you a present, boys.
What do the geniuses of the press come up with now?
Something you'd never have dreamt of, Sergeant. And it arrived in the Morning Post. Right, Mr. Paulson?
Oh, that's right.
Well, Doctor?
It's a human kidney. What do you want me to say?
Does it belong to one of the victims?
I have no idea, Inspector.
Why, is it too decayed to tell?
It's not decayed at all. You're entitled to a second opinion, of course. Try Dr. Phillips again.
He's away.
Is he? Well, if you'll excuse me, I have patients to attend to.
Never mind, Aveline. It's the note that counts. Dear Mr. Lusk, I send you half the kidney I took from one woman. T'other piece I fried and ate. It was very nice. Signed, Catch Me When You Can. Wonderful copy. Don't you agree, Mr. Paulson?
Yeah. Why did he suddenly write to George Lusk? All the other notes went to the Central News Office. That's your news agency, Mr. Paulson. So why address this one to Lusk?
Well, You'll have to find him and ask him. Won't you? Cheer up, Sergeant. Couldn't have tasted all that bad. He probably had it with sage and onion.
What are you going to do with it?
Take it to the Queen's, Doctor. Our old friend, Sir William Gull.
I'll wait here, Fred.
Why?
Oh, you know how I feel about things like this. Girl's gonna start cutting up or pouring acid on it or something.
You know what they say, George? If you can't take a joke,
you should have joined. Yeah, I know, go on.
Hello, George. Remember me? From the Royal Mews? Netley. John Netley.
Okay.
Yes, it's a female kidney belonging to a woman of about 45 in an advanced state of alcoholism. She's also suffering from Bright's disease. Take a look there.
Did it belong to Catherine Eddowes? That's what I need to know, Sir William.
Let me see the autopsy report.
You all right, Sir William?
Yes, just a little tired, that's all. Let me see it.
This kidney's been preserved in alcohol.
The way a medical man would do it, Dr. Eckland?
Alcohol's easy enough to obtain, Inspector. Anyone can get hold of it, not just doctors.
Yes, I'd say it belonged to this poor woman.
Are you sure?
How long is a renal artery, Theo?
3 inches, as you very well know.
Yes, well, there's 2 inches left in the body, and there, unless I'm mistaken, is the missing inch.
Was it removed professionally, Sir William?
You mean by a surgeon?
Why all this emphasis on surgeons? You don't need a medical degree to take hold of a kidney and cut it out. Butchers do it every day, for goodness sake.
I was only asking, Dr. Ackland.
Ever since the day you consulted me about mental instability, Inspector, my son-in-law has been following this case avidly. All this talk in the press of doctors has hurt his professional pride.
Nonsense.
No, just mild paranoia. Nothing to worry about.
I try doctors all the time.
Yeah, so you said.
Yeah.
Fred, remember John Netley from the Royal Mews?
Yes. Weren't you going to keep your eyes peeled for a black coach, like a royal one?
Yeah, well, I've been busy. John's been telling me about the doctors he drives, haven't you?
Only the big ones. I'm a top driver, see? Waiting for a famous surgeon now, as a matter of fact.
He's driven royalty, too, haven't you, John?
Highest in the land, yeah. Not in my coach, mind. When you work for the palace, they give you a beauty.
Tell him about the prince.
Prince Albert V? He's a lad, is Prince Albert V. Well, that's what we call him in the Mews, see? V for Victor. Shouldn't have told you, though, should I?
What kind of a lad?
Nah. I know how to keep my mouth shut, I do. You won't catch me. Hey, you know what that is? Gallbladder. That's what that is. Oh, I've studied it, see? I'm a doctor myself, part-time.
Yeah?
Well, here's my surgeon now. Got to go. Ta-ra.
Stark raving mad. Well, what did Sir William have to say?
It's hers, Cathy Eddowes.
Cannibal in London! Cannibal in London! Get the star! Ripper eats kidney! Ripper eats kidney! Cannibal in London! Cannibal in London! Get the star!
I only spent an hour with him, of course, but I certainly don't think Mansfield hates women. Mind you, I don't think he values us much either. His whole life seems to be one long love affair.
You mean any woman will do, eh?
Oh, no. Nobody else is involved. Not if you're Richard Mansfield.
And what was the other thing? You said there was something else.
Oh, well, that's much more exciting. It's about the Queen's grandson, of all people.
And what about the Queen's grandson, of all people?
Well, a certain reporter told me that Prince Albert Victor, Duke of Clarence and Avondale, has visited a boarding house. Several, in fact.
Show me a prince who hasn't.
Ah, but this one wears a disguise. And the best bit is, his favorite place happens to be Whitechapel. Have you got him on your list?
Emma, who told you about all this?
Ben Bates of The Star. It's absolutely delicious, isn't it?
I hope you don't go round repeating it. Gossip like that can be bloody dangerous.
Freddie, you can be very dull sometimes. Must be your job. Why don't you try something exciting for a change, like An explorer, for instance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll come back later.
The sergeant? Godly, isn't it? Still keeping the maestro on the straight and narrow?
I'll see you out, Emma.
Better not. People might talk, and gossip can be bloody dangerous. By the way, I'm having dinner with him at the Café Royal tonight. Don't worry, there'll be 8 of us at the table. I'll be quite safe.
Shut the door, George.
What is it? What's wrong?
Sit down and listen to this.
And their faces when they saw that kidney. They didn't know which way to turn. They didn't know what to say, what to do. They didn't even know what to think.
They were confused.
I wish I had your way with words, Paulson. I really do.
So are you going to print it? The story about the prince?
The power of the press, my friend, is the threat of the press. Even for royalty. Let them sweat.
Hello, Bates. Getting into sedition now, are we?
What do you want, Sergeant?
I want to talk to you.
What about?
About a little rumor you've been spreading.
What rumor?
About a certain royal personage visiting Whitechapel.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You print one word of it without proof, and we'll seize the edition. Better still, we'll put you behind bars, and that would make me very happy. Aren't you going to pour me a drink?
Harry. You told anybody about this?
Only my sergeant, Commissioner. He's trying to establish the facts.
Facts? People don't want their gossip spoiled by facts. We're talking about a royal prince. He may one day be King of England. If he sneezes, he must have pneumonia. He's been within a mile of Whitechapel. He's obviously Jack the Ripper. Gossip is far more powerful than facts.
What if it isn't gossip, sir? What if the rumors are true?
If the prince visits brothels, that's a scandal. And scandals die down. But if he's suspected of murder, we'll be facing a crisis that will rock the British Empire to its foundations.
What do you want me to do, sir?
I swore to uphold the law, Abilene, just as you did, without fear or favor. And while I'm Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police, that is what I will do, no matter who the killer is. Do we understand each other?
Yes, sir.
If Mary Nichols had been Lady Nichols, the Prime Minister himself would have been here.
Yeah, right. That's right.
If Fanny or Kathy had been duchesses, they'd have brought the army in. But they're only our women. So they don't care, my friends. Long live the revolution! And long live Karl Marx!
What a mouth.
Oh, I thought he was wonderful. I'm gonna talk to him.
Wonderful. It's a load of old toss. Look, Mary Jane, it's thought they never pay.
Oh, Billy, go to hell and be damned. I'm gonna talk to him. Excuse me, Mr. Lusk. Oh, I thought your speech was beautiful. I especially liked what you said about freedom.
Did you know? What if I told you there's a way you could help the revolution? Sister.
I tried everything, but he shut up like a clam. Freedom of the press, he called it.
George, if this rumor's true, we'll be setting sail without a map. You know that, don't you?
I'm not that stupid, Fred. I know what royalty means.
You got a family. You don't have to stay, that's what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. Look, how long have we worked together?
4 years.
Then you should know me by now. I only get anxious at midnight. I'll let you know when it's chiming, all right?
Bucks Row, second on the right.
Oh, Billy, for heaven's sake, look. Will you just leave us alone?
You don't know what you're getting yourself into, Mary Jane.
She's breaking free of pimps and scum. Get back to the sewers where you came from.
And where do you come from, eh? Heaton and Oxford, and you come down here trying to talk like us. I know what your game is, Lusk. Don't think I don't.
A little knowledge is a dangerous thing, don't you agree, sisters?
All right, number one. Mary Nichols. Feet this way, head there.
And not much blood, no more than a pint of it.
How'd you know that? They'd washed it away by the time we arrived.
Look at the windows.
What are windows got to do with blood?
You'll see.
Where have you been?
Guessing you a photographer.
One. I want more than one.
So, who are these two then?
We have met before. It was Hanbury Street.
Oh, yes, the day after Chapman was killed. You're a whore too, aren't you?
Number two, Annie Chapman. There.
She was dragged in here, and she was killed, and then she was taken to bits slowly. Do you believe it?
Believe it? What do you mean?
What's this? Hey!
Who's that?
Police. Good night. Come on, George.
The police doctor didn't help them at all, and they couldn't work out why the kidney was addressed to you. All they need now is another murder, and they'll be really confused.
Another murder, huh? Nothing more certain, Bates.
Right, I'll see you outside Scotland Yard then.
$9:30. Sharp.
So, work just started on Liz Stride.
Yeah.
When up the street comes a horse and cart.
Dean shoots the man who found her.
No time to cut the ears, so it's off to Mitre Square. Time.
Between 1 and 5 past.
Check your watch.
Right.
Ready?
Go.
It's not just anarchists. There's Republicans, Irish revolutionaries. Now something calling itself the Women of East London. 4,000 signatures.
Everyone with an axe to grind, eh? I hear they've closed down a theatre play.
Jekyll and Hyde, in case it inspires the killer. Whole town's gone mad, Tom. It's getting very dangerous.
But you won't resign. Not till this is over. We still need you, don't we, Commissioner?
Tonight, we take our power to the streets! Tonight, we take the battle to the enemy! Tonight, we strike our blow for freedom! Scotland Yard!
Nine minutes.
Now, He wouldn't run like we did, George. He'd attract too much attention.
Quarter of an hour.
Minimum.
All right, call it 1:15.
So, he kills Caviedos, operates on damn near every one of her organs, one by one. Now remember, it's dark. Then he dumps her carcass over there.
All right, another 20, 25.
Yeah. So that's 40 minutes.
Oh, so what? She was murdered at 1:45. He's got 5 minutes to spare.
What if he can't find the girl? For 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. What if the city copper doesn't discover the body right away?
Then it can't be done.
Unless he can get here twice as quick as we did.
It's impossible.
No, it's not. Not if he had a coach.
Coach?
And it doesn't drive itself, does it?
Fred, that's it.
It's a coach, George. And it is more than one.
That's the answer.
It's more than one, and they're using a coach.
That's it, Fred.
Quick, this'll do. Come on. Come on.
Come on, quick, the doors. Come on. Come on, get the doors closed.
Warren out. Warren out.
It's my name they're shouting.
We can leave by the back door.
Tom, if the people are against me too, perhaps I should resign.
No!
One more push and we'll take over the streets!
It's a secret society. Could be hundreds of them.
No, George, there's only two. Just two men. And do you know why? Because what all those people told us about the stranger they'd seen in the area. He's tall, short, old, young, he had light hair, grey hair. Who are they describing?
Two different men.
There are two different kinds of handwriting. One of them drives the coach while the other one cuts up the body. The coach is on the move, so you get that ragged cut. They leave the body in a quiet place, and there's not much blood on the ground, because most of it's
in the coach. They'd be taking a hell of a risk, though. I mean, what if one of our men stops the coach?
Not this coach, George. Nobody stops this coach.
What? Two men? That's what I'm telling you. We think there's two men, and we think they've got a coach. So warn all the girls, okay?
Does Mr. Spratlin know about this?
He does now.
I told him, Sarge.
Right, let's do the 10 bells.
Two men and a coach.
Bluff.
Telling your bluff. You don't know a thing.
I heard him.
Finish your drink.
What is it this time, Inspector? I was just going out.
Take a look at this sketch you drew for me. The coach you saw in the vision. The one that tried to kill you.
What about it?
You said it was a royal coach.
Very like a royal coach, certainly.
Oh, like a royal coach, huh? But you said you'd ridden in it when you went to see the Queen. Now, is it royal or isn't it?
It had a sort of crest on the side, as I've drawn it there. Perhaps that confused me.
I like straight talking, Mr. Lees. And I'm not hearing it.
There's a warning for him, Mary, all right?
The day I take on a twosome for the price of one's the day I give up.
Go on, you, aren't you? What's your name?
Millie. It's her first night, Sergeant. Don't frighten her. Isn't she the most beautiful hair? Come on, Pat.
Look after yourself, Millie.
Sarge, there are 3 more pubs in Fashion Street.
I know that, Derek.
The supernatural is never simple. I told you what came to me, Inspector. He's a man with two faces.
I'll tell you what's come to me, Mr. Lees. He's two men.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't realize.
Good evening, Mr. Whatever your name is, it escapes me.
Mr. Mansfield was having a psychic session when you arrived. About his acting career.
Yes, that's right.
And how is your acting career, Mr. Mansfield?
Well, I guess you've heard about the play, Jekyll and Hyde. No, I suddenly found myself playing to half-empty houses. Don't get to be my monster anymore, so to speak. Chin-chin.
You're the best in the world at that, aren't you? Changing from Jekyll into Hyde.
What's behind that remark, Inspector?
What's behind you getting Dr. Ackland to show you an autopsy? You like watching bodies being cut up, do you?
I was preparing for my role as Dr. Jekyll. You know, I resent being spoken to as if I'm so...
There. Look, she's singing.
Oh, God. Stop him. Somebody stop him. Bravo.
Long hair, yellow hair. She's got beautiful yellow hair. A man wearing armor.
What is this, Mansfield?
He is having a vision here, Inspector. I think we should leave.
Like a knight with a sword. A knight in armor.
Knight in armor.
God.
Drink this.
It's cutting.
Drink this.
It's cutting. No!
You sure you're feeling better now, Robert?
Quite sure. Come back tomorrow, Richard, and I will tell you your future.
I'll show myself out.
You and Richard Mansfield seem to have struck up quite a friendship, Mr. Lees.
My visions are never wrong. Look for a man wearing armor and a girl with long yellow hair. She'll die. She's going to die.
Billy, my God, what's they done to you?
It's my own fault. I should learn to keep my mouth shut.
About what?
Look, I've got a job for you.
No, Billy, I'm not going out. They say there's two men in
You
a
don't
coat.
have to go out. It's at your place. It's as safe as houses. Millie, I've got something special for you. Very special. And it'll pay well, too.
Another drink, Mr. Netley?
No. And it's Dr. Netley.
Cup of tea, Sarge?
Yeah.
What's that, Sergeant?
Nothing, sir. Just a few statements.
Where's Abilene?
I think he went home, sir.
You think he went home, sir? The commissioner wants to see him tomorrow, 11 o'clock, sharp.
Right, sir.
Mind where you're going, son, and do that collar up.
Sarge?
Yes, Derek?
That was a chief super from Scotland Yard.
I know, Derek.
What's he doing in Whitechapel?
I don't know.
What's that you're reading, Sarge?
Derek, will you find something to do?
Oh, all right. Now, come on, Millie, it's time to go.
All right, I'm coming.
No, Billy, don't push her! Push her? I'm helping her. Now, come on. He'll be here soon.
Billy, it's her first night out in the street.
Come on, Pat.
pictures. And if you don't like the look of him, just go on in. You'll be safe inside. You'll be all right. I'll see you tomorrow.
I thought you'd gone home.
Isn't this home?
The commissioner wants you. 11 o'clock tomorrow. And these arrived at last.
Court circulars?
Every engagement he's had for the last 3 months.
Now, this is the London list, right?
No. Scotland.
What?
The prince has been in Scotland for the last 10 weeks.
Are you sure?
I've checked every guest list, speech, shooting party on the whole royal circuit. He never left Scotland, not for a day.
Well, well, well. What price Mr. Benjamin bloody pays now, eh?
Lees was telling Mansfield's fortune. Did you believe it?
Not after he started flying around the room, no.
What do you think they're up to?
Your guess is as good as mine.
A knight in shining armor and a girl with yellow hair. Come on, Fred, let's go home.
No, I'm going to stay and have a think.
That was think, not drink.
Good night, George.
Don't forget the commissioner. 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Yes, George.
Come in. It's open. Can I take your coat? Is something wrong? Oh, dear God. No, no, God, no!
Morning, Mrs. Cohen, Mrs. Schultz. Have your rent ready. I'll be round later.
Don't you never take no holidays. It's a Lord Mayor's parade.
Mummy!
Give us a rest, you.
Mummy, it's the Red Man! Quick, get inside!
Pay you tomorrow, John.
Right.
Rent. Rent day. Come on, Mary. 6 weeks behind. Rent day.
You're quite sure the Prince was in Scotland on every single murder night?
Those are the official court circulars, Commissioner.
His Royal Highness Prince Albert Victor, Duke of Clarence and Avondale, 30th of August with the Queen at Invercargill. 7th of September at Glenmuir.
Then Balmoral. One night he dined with foreign royalty until 1:30 in the morning. It's all there.
So, unless he sprouted wings and flew to London in less than 8 minutes...
He can't be Jack the Ripper. He was 400 miles away with 50 witnesses.
50?
Butlers, footmen, valets, half the royal family, a dozen guests. They're all listed.
Come in.
Excuse me, Commissioner.
All right, Mr. Arnold, I'm coming. It's Lord Mayor of London's parade today, annual farce.
Well, the people enjoy it, so it's a public holiday.
They wouldn't enjoy it if they had to march through the streets dressed like a turkey.
May I have a word with you, sir?
We can talk on the way.
No, Commissioner. I think you should hear it now.
He's looking back, John.
The locals are taking this very hard, Commissioner.
Yes, we all are, Tom, we all are. The eyes of a dead person record the last thing they see. That's what I've heard. Photographers brought a special lens, just in case it's true. Good day, gentlemen.
He's offered to resign. Lost a good man.
Frederick, Mr. Bowyer.
Ah, yeah. So you came to collect the rent, Mr. Bowyer. Now, what happened then?
I looked through the window, and then I saw these bits all over the room, down the walls. There's nothing left. Nothing left of...
All right, old son. It's all right. It's okay.
A man in armor. What are we going to do, Fred?
When we catch whoever did that, George, I'm going to kill him.
I wouldn't want to face him, John.
Sir, who killed Mary? She was gonna meet someone special. Who hated her like that?
Emily! Emily! There he is! String him up! Hang him! The police are your enemy! They don't care about ordinary working people! No police! No police! No police! No police! No police! Hey, you see? That's your enemy! No police! No police! No police!
Mansfield! Mansfield, open this door! Mansfield, this is the police! Open the door! Mansfield, this is the police! Open the door!
You can't come barging in here like this.
Mansfield!
Where is he? For the theatre, probably.
What's this?
It's a costume design for his next part, Richard III.
Where is he?
Hey, you! Where do you think you're going? I'm talking to you! Who the hell are you?
I am his dresser sergeant, not his keeper. He is leaving for America, and I'm packing for him, and that is all I know.
Where was he last night?
With some unfortunate female, I suppose. He usually is. Can't you see his bed hasn't been slept in?
So the coup de grace is done like this.
Richard, that's wonderful. Just hold that pose. Yes, just like that. I'll work as fast as I can.
You forgot this. Where were you last night?
Last night? With Robert Leeds.
And you were there?
Tuesday night, you slept with a young girl called Mary Jane Kelly. She's dead.
Oh, really? And what'd she die of?
She said she was going to see someone special. Where did you go, Mansfield, after you left Robert Lee's?
Freddie, please don't.
After I left Robert Lee's? Ask the lady here. Ask her! You gonna tell him? You're not.
Richard and I had supper together.
And then? What happened then?
I went home. An empty bed, what else? You didn't think I'd damage your lady's honor here, did you, Miss Prentice? I don't want to finish this poster. In fact, I don't want to continue our association. You know, I don't like the company you keep.
Everyone you meet, everyone's a criminal to be hounded and accused.
Emma, last night, a young woman was...
Why don't you accuse me? Shall I make up an alibi? Shall I say I went to bed with him? Is that what you want to hear? Well, is it?
Emma, please.
It's no use, Freddie. We belong in different worlds. Just stay out of mine.
It's Lancelot and Guinevere, for goodness sake. Of course he's wearing armor.
It's also a girl with long hair. Now, that's more than a coincidence, Mr. Lees.
It's no coincidence at all. My psychic visions are world famous. Why do you think I advise the Queen and half the nobility of England? Do you think I'm a fraud?
Answer the question. Have you seen this picture before?
It's a cheap reproduction. You can buy them on any street corner.
So you never left this house last night? Not for a minute?
Sergeant Godley, please tell your Inspector Aberline that I'm in no way connected with these murders, and I resent any suggestion that I might be. I approached you first in order to help you. But if you bother me again, I shall use every means at my disposal to get you dismissed from the force. I am not without friends. Now, please leave.
It's there somewhere, George. It's got to be. Area.
All killings within a mile of each other.
Yeah, it could be local, but they used a coach. Method.
Organs removed.
Could be medical, but there's no proof. And they're drenched in blood.
Yeah, so they're gonna wash the clothes or throw them away.
And if they throw them away, they
can't
won't
be
be
poor.
poor. Llewellyn.
Our own police surgeon, local, uncooperative, and he's got, of course, medical knowledge.
But he had an alibi for the Nichols murder. The question mark. Lusk.
Political, violent, and he knows the area.
But did he have the knowledge? Lees.
The Queen's own psychic medium, no doctor's knowledge, and he's got an alibi for the Chapman murder.
But he described the knight in shining armor.
Ackland doctor attended Chapman's inquest with a very weak excuse.
Leave him on. Mansfield.
Your friend, the actor. Alibi for the Chapman killing? But he knows about autopsies because Ackland showed him one.
Underline him. Is that all?
Yeah. Mind you, you're pretty good with a razor.
So are you. Put us both down. Nice.
Yeah.
Lady Gull.
Good afternoon, Inspector. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Would you like some tea?
I gather Sir William is resting.
Oh, he'll be down in a moment. Any excuse to ignore doctor's orders.
Oh, is he ill?
No, not really. He had a small stroke some time ago, and our son-in-law insists on a nap. He's a doctor, too, Dr. Ackland. It's quite a battle, I can assure you.
A stroke? I didn't realize he had a stroke.
Oh, yes. Well, he hardly practices at all now, just a day or two at the hospital. He gets very depressed and tired, so don't tax him too much, will you?
Ah, thank God. Someone's come. How about some tea, my dear? No, I can see you've already thought of that.
I hope we're not interrupting anything, Sir William.
Oh, good heavens, no, no. When you grow old, they treat you as a child, send you to bed. Now that you're here, I shall be allowed some cake. Sit down, sit down. Now,
What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Sir William, what kind of man could do that to a young girl?
God. When did this happen?
Last night. What kind of man am I looking for, Doctor?
He's what we now call a psychopath. Mentally deranged person. With a chronic sexual difficulty, I'd imagine.
According to the police surgeon, Sir William, there was never any actual...
No intercourse? You surprise me.
Have you ever seen anything like that before, Doctor?
Never. I've engaged in vivisection, of course. It advances medical science, but what purpose there can be in this total destruction of a healthy human being, I'm at a loss to understand.
How would I recognize him?
That won't be easy. He'll probably appear quite normal until his insanity rears its head. We find that quite common.
We think there may be two of them, Sir William.
Two? Now, that is interesting. They would have to be very sure of one another to share a thing like this. Very sure indeed.
Family ties?
Possibly. Some exotic religion, perhaps. Politics. Anything which makes one man submit to the will of another.
Politics?
Certainly. Convince a little man that he's serving some great cause, some grand experiment, and he'll do practically anything for you.
Kill people?
Of course. He'll burn witches for you, torture your enemies for you. And he'll do it with a smile, if he thinks it's right. The history books are full of it.
Convince a little man.
There will always be leaders and followers, Inspector. You even have them in the police, do you not?
Come on, Theo. Jump. Good boy.
Where's Grandpapa?
Splendid. Netley, will you wait? Ah, Inspector. Caroline, this is Mr. Aberline. You remember I told you about him.
Yes, of course. How do you do, Inspector?
And this is my son, Theo William.
You've been to see my father, Inspector?
Yes, Mrs. Acton. We've been talking to Sir William.
I hope you left him in a good mood. He can be quite a tyrant at times.
Well, good day to you, gentlemen.
Good day, Dr. Ackland. Mrs. Acton.
That's it, Fred. That's the coach.
They've taken off the Royal Crest, you see that?
Yeah, the patch on the side, and that's John Netley from the Royal Mews.
Convince the little man.
We're going to lose him, Fred.
Bring him in at 6, the cell routine.
Right.
We've got him, George. We've got both of them. Now, go!
It's too late, Aberline. There's nothing I can do, not now.
But I need that document today, Commissioner, with your signature on it.
There have been other documents today, Aberline. Telegrams. And a signature on this one will make my position very clear to you. This new and most ghastly murder shows the absolute necessity for some very decided action. Those are the words of the Queen, Aberline, this morning.
But, Commissioner, you said yourself.
1 hour ago, the Secretary of State replied as follows. Mr. Henry Matthews begs to inform Your Majesty that the Cabinet have today decided to accept the resignation of the Police Commissioner, Sir Charles Warren. Does that answer your question?
No, Sir Charles. You are still Commissioner until midnight.
See my successor, Aberline, on Monday, please.
You told me to bring you Jack the Ripper. You sign that piece of paper and I will. Tonight. we've noticed.
What's this?
Pick up the chalk.
You painted my arm! Oh, what chalk?
The chalk on the floor. Pick it up. Pick it up. Right. Now, right on the wall, the Jews.
I can't write!
How do you study those medical books then, you snivelling little worm? Right. The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing.
Leave it!
Right! The Jews! The Jews! J! U-W! E-S! You're gonna hang, Dr. Neckley! Hang! You bastard!
Faster! Come on, faster!
It's not just the writing on the wall. It's the pimp. The pimp!
What pimp? I don't know no pimp.
The pimp who got you married, Jane Kelly, you little runt. He's gonna point you out to us, isn't he?
I told you! I don't know any pimp!
Why'd you hang the royal crest on the side of your coach?
What royal crest?
In case you got stopped, wasn't it? When the coach was full of blood. Nobody dare open the door if they thought it was a royal coach. What did he promise you? Money? Lots of money? For you to become a doctor, was it? Well, he's laughing at you. Because now you're gonna hang. Except for this. This piece of paper, John Netley, is your life. Listen very carefully to every golden word.
Robin!
Whereas on November the 9th, at Miller's Court, Spitalfields, Mary Jane Kelly was murdered.
Rodman, police, open up!
The Secretary of State will advise the grant of Her Majesty's pardon to any accomplice who shall give such information as shall lead to the conviction of the person or persons who committed the murder.
Rodman! What?
Now look, in the bottom left-hand corner, that is signed Sir Charles Warren, Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police.
The French girl, Annette! Inside! Boy, come here, you beater!
Now, God help me. That is a Queen's pardon. But you are going to have to earn it. You are going to bring out Jack the Ripper tonight.
How'd you go, Rodman? Shut the door.
Remember me? I was here 2 months ago with a man called Mansfield, an actor. You called him Dixie. Remember?
Ah, you are police? Oh, no.
Don't be frightened.
But I've done nothing wrong.
I know that. Now listen. How would you like us to pay for you to go back to Paris?
Paris?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Or wherever you want to go. I mean, £20.
Oh. But why?
Because we need your help.
Do the police know the identity of the Ripper? Read all about it. Commissioner resigns. Jack the Ripper. Is his identity known? Do the police know the identity of Jack the Ripper? Late paper. Do the police know the identity of Jack the Ripper? Read all about it. Great extra. I've packed everything, Miss Mansfield.
So what are you waiting for?
Well, it is customary at the end of an engagement to offer one's dresser a small token of appreciation. I'll take this down for you. The coach will be here soon.
Good night, Dr. Ackland.
What are you looking at?
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Where's Abilene?
I don't know, sir. What's that about?
I'll see him again in the morning, all right?
Thank you, Dr. Llewellyn, and good night.
Good night.
Wait there, sir.
Get out of the way, George.
No, Fred.
Get out of the way, George.
No, Fred. You'll hang.
He's breathing. He's alive.
Well, Dr. Eklund? It's a massive cerebral hemorrhage. If the bleeding continues, he could expire within the next few hours.
And if it stops?
Weeks, months. He's as good as dead now, Commissioner. He'll never recover.
What was your father-in-law working on, Dr. Eklund?
What?
He kept talking about his work. What kind of work?
He hardly had any. He was a sick man. Oh, my God.
What was it? What was he working on?
Dementia praecox, with a particular reference to the splitting of the mind.
Two minds in one, like Jekyll and Hyde.
It's true, he saw the human mind as having two sides, like a single coin, the sane and the insane, but I hardly think you can interpret that as...
He called it an experiment. What kind of experiment?
I wasn't privy to all his researches, Inspector.
Answer the question!
Abilene, please. To him, insanity was a disease like any other. Something to be understood before it could be cured.
Understood? So he used those women as guinea pigs? In some mad experiment?
For God's sake, man, he'd had a stroke. He was the guinea pig, trying to understand his own dementia.
You mean he was mad?
There's no need for this.
Yes, there is. Was he mad?
How many people know the truth?
Civilians, I mean.
Civilians? The coachman and the girl. Why?
Netley won't talk, in case he's judged equally guilty. The girl can be paid. That leaves you, me, and Godley, all serving officers holding the Queen's warrant.
What are you saying, sir?
For the next 18 minutes, I'm still Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police.
You're not thinking of keeping this quiet?
The man's as good as dead. He'll never stand trial. Why cause more damage?
Damage? He's a killer!
He's also the Queen's doctor and a brilliant scientist.
He's killed 5 women!
Listen to me! Just listen to what I have to say. If you don't agree, you can talk to my successor. But I warn you, his response will almost certainly be the same as mine. Sit down.
Good night, sir.
Good night, Sergeant.
Enjoy your retirement, sir. What happens now?
Nothing. Nothing? Why ruin the lives of 2 more women? Innocent wife and daughter. Why bring medical science into disrepute?
Is that what Warren said?
That's what they'll all say. The new commissioner, the Prime Minister, maybe even the Queen herself if she gets to hear about it. Then the files will start to disappear, and they'll stamp the case unsolved.
What? He's guilty.
And he's the Queen's doctor. The implications, the scandal, the political upheaval. Think of the public good, George. Think of the public good. What did you expect, my old friend?
Justice. That's what I expect. Straightforward, bloody justice.
Then you should have let me shoot him. Shouldn't you? Shouldn't you?
Sir William Withy Gull lived on for 14 months. In breach of medical custom and practice, his death was certified by his own son-in-law, Dr. Theodore Dyke Ackland. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhage. John Netley died under the wheels of his own coach in 1903. His death was recorded as accidental. Sir Charles Warren went on to fight in the Boer War and later helped build the Boy Scout movement. He died in 1927. Robert James Lees published several books on telepathy and reincarnation. He died in 1931. The actor, Richard Mansfield, returned to America, where he married his leading lady, Beatrice Cameron. He died in 1907. George Godley rose to the rank of inspector and retired in 1908. And, after investigating the famous Cleveland Street scandal, Detective Inspector Frederick Aberline left the police force. He died in 1929.
In the strange case of Jack the Ripper, there was no trial and no signed confession. In 1888, neither fingerprinting nor blood typing was in use, and no conclusive forensic, documentary, or eyewitness testimony was available. Thus, positive proof of the Ripper's identity is not available. We have come to our conclusions after careful study and painstaking deduction. Other researchers, criminologists, and writers may take a different view. We believe our conclusions to be true.